What is it, Mom?
It's like cattle. So tiny in here. We're gonna go exploring on the safari.
To ensure a safe and pleasant trip, you should be in good health, free from high blood pressure, motion sickness, or other conditions that could be aggravated by this adventure.
Look, guys, see a lot of animals. Very.
To load your safari transport,
There we go.
Cover up your nose a little bit, Liam. She's going to be able to see us, I think.
remember to watch your children. Your transport will be arriving shortly. Asante Sana. Enjoy your adventure at Kilimanjaro Safari. Bienvenidos a Kilimanjaro Safari. Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados.
Daddy should be over here.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Well, I guess we will can't switch now.
Everyone made it, Ed.
Yeah, that's right. You can sit over.
You have the child with you?
Can we all say hi to Uncle Dean?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Brian. We miss you.
Hi, Uncle Brian.
Ready for the safari? Yes.
Hey, watch those hands up. Speed's Lakes doors are going to close.
So those face coverings stay on, please. Face coverings need to be on.
Ready? Let's do this.
All right, thank you, Jordan.
Here we go.
Jumbo.
Hi, Jumbo, everyone, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safaris. Before we head on out, real quick reminder, remain fully seated. Keep those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside at all times. You do have to keep those face coverings on and properly worn throughout the entire safari. That means all the way up over the nose, fully covering the mouth and tucked under the chin. And there's also absolutely no eating or drinking permitted while on board. We do have clearance to head on out. So Twin Day, let's go.
Fun day.
First part of the reserve that we're heading into here is called the Little Aturi Forest. Animals here in the forest are known for their natural colorings and markings, which help them with blending in with all of these trees. A lot of times you do have to really look to find animals in a forest.
Oh, there we go.
Just over to the right though, we've got a great view of an okapi. The okapi looks like it's related to zebra since it has stripes there on its legs, but it's not a zebra relative at all. That is the only living relative of the giraffe. Okapis are generally very reclusive, and because of that, they were not discovered by Westerners until 1901. Prior to that time,
Oh,
they were
yeah,
thought
there's
by
one in
some
the
to be a
bush,
mythical
right
creature
there.
because it was that difficult to
Good,
predict their
good
existence.
view, Avery.
Hiding out in the bushes over to the right, that is a bongo. They generally stay in very dense vegetation where they blend in so well with their surroundings. They can be so difficult to see, they've earned themselves the nickname the Ghost of the Forest. Over to the left there, you'll see a greater kudu, the largest of the forest antelopes. And that bird right there is a saddle-billed stork. Stands about 5 feet tall, has a wingspan of about 9 feet. More of the bongos right here out as well. Seems like all of the animals here in the forest have all gathered into one spot.
Look, there's a stork bird again, Dan.
Hmm?
Here, it's the bird. Right.
Where?
Right here. Hey, little bird.
I can't see.
Okay, we
I take a look on the
it.
far side of the water,
There's
and
just one bird.
rolling down there is a black rhino. Black rhinos are generally solitary and nocturnal. Unfortunately, they're also critically endangered. There are less than 5,000 black rhinos left in the world today. Their numbers are still dropping, and that's primarily due to poaching for their horns. Their horns, however, are only made out of keratin. And keratin is the exact same thing as what your hair and fingernails are made out of, so technically it's not even a true horn.
Looks like there's something back there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you saw the dish for its feeding, but there was nothing there.
We're heading in the direction of Safi River, so we'll stop over that way and see what's happening. Usually, wherever there's a source of water, is a good spot to look for animals.
Buzzards.
There's a hippo
Vulture.
that's in the water. Just right there at the edge.
see the hippo right there?
Hippos are amongst the largest and
Right there?
most
See?
dangerous animal in Africa. And that's because they have incisors that reach lengths of 18 inches long. They will use those for defense. Hippos will generally stay submerged in water during
Did
the
you see 'em?
daytime. That's to keep them overheating. And they're a nocturnal species, so nighttime is when you'd also find them out at the banks grazing.
Oh, they're cleaning up.
Look at pelicans.
Quite a few pink-backed pelicans there on the island, and also going for a swim.
See the pelican?
So that's just for you, Papa.
The pink-backed pelican is the smallest of the pelican species. They're only pink during mating season, and it's just their skin that turns pink, not their feathers. Those birds are known to nest in rather large colonies. It can go all the way up to about 500 pairs. There's also a lot of vultures hanging out here. And vultures and other scavengers play very
Look at them all
important roles in the
on the
ecosystem
thing.
to help
See?
clean up after all the other animals.
Look at them all, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Time to start eating them.
No.
Beneath us here are Nile crocodiles.
Crocodiles over there?
The Nile crocodile is the largest crocodilian species in Africa. They can reach lengths of up to 20 feet. Now, like all reptiles, they are ectothermic. And that is another way of saying that they're cold-blooded. What that actually means is that they're 100% relying on the environment to regulate their body temperature. So that's why they're frequently found sunning themselves on the banks of waters during the daytime. It's just in order to warm up. They've got ridges that run down the lengths of their backs all the way to the tip of their tails. Those ridges act almost like little solar panels, helping them to really absorb the heat from the surrounding air and water. Over to the right is one of the more unique trees found out on the reserve. It's called baobab tree. It's also known as an upside-down tree. It looks like it has roots coming right out the top. It's actually just leafless right now, though, and it remains that way for about 9 months out of the year in order to conserve water. We're now heading into a different ecosystem here, so a bit of a change of scenery. This is the savanna, the grasslands of Africa. And the savanna is home to some of Africa's most iconic species.
Oh, you're right there.
Yeah.
Just over to the left, it's a pack of African wild dogs. They're also known as the African painted dogs for those beautiful coats. They're most active in the early morning and early evening hours, so it looks like they're starting to wake up from one of their afternoon naps. They're considered the most successful hunters out on the savannah. They have a success rate that far exceeds that of any big cat, even because they hunt as such an organized pack. Now, their pack is very important to them. They are one of the few species that will care for any sick or injured members of their pack. They are members of the canine family, but they branched off from domestic dogs quite a ways back. And one of the big differences between them is that the African wild dog is not capable of barking. Instead, they communicate through a series of chirps that really sounds much more like a dog squeaky toy than a dog. It's really sort of cute. Small herd of sable antelope over to the left corner. Very majestic looking species. They have horns that can reach lengths of up to 5 feet long. Females have the reddish brownish coat that you see there. Males tend to be more of a dark brown, almost even blackish in color. The gray colored herd right here are white-bearded wildebeest. And the wildebeest is one of the animals best known for its migration. About 1.5 million individuals will make a trek every year between about 500 to 1,000 miles. And they do that just to follow the rain to get to greener grasses. You notice a lot of towering structures all over the savannah, but especially in this area right here. Those are termite mounds. They're home to millions of termites inside each one. They're constructed out of a combination of dirt, dung, and saliva, and can be over 30 feet tall in some areas here in Africa. On average, though, they're about 8 feet tall, which is still rather impressive considering it's tiny little termite that built those mounds. A few more white-bearded wildebeest right there, and then the adorable little antelope just up ahead here.
Are they nice?
These are springbok.
No.
Springbok get their name from their ability to spring straight up in the air repeatedly, about 6 to 8 feet. They can also leap forward about 13 feet in just one jump. And they're quite fast little antelope. They can run about 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's one coming up on your side, baby girl. I promise.
There's one that's over to the right here, if you're on that side of the vehicle.
Yeah.
It's a really cute little antelope. Hiding out in the bushes over here to the left, there is a Maasai giraffe there. The Maasai giraffe gets its name from the region of Africa where they're found. But when a giraffe is first born, they're only about 6 feet tall.
There they are.
You gotta be on the lookout for a couple of baby giraffes while we're out here. Fully grown adults are 18 to 20 feet tall. Looks like it's been working on eating those leaves there off the trees.
Our giraffe's nice.
He's right there.
They do spend the majority of their waking hours
This giraffe's nice.
doing eating of one form or another. Over to the right there amongst the palm trees
Little banger mom.
are Ankole cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle. That's after the Watusi tribe, which first domesticated them about 2,000 years ago. The horns on those cattle reach lengths of 3 to 4 feet each, and because their blood vessels run throughout those horns, it acts as a cooling system for the cattle. Quite a few more Maasai giraffe over to
Oh, look at
the
them all over
left
there, Green. Here, look.
Oh, look at them. Those on here are the babies. Can you see them,
I
baby?
believe it's both of the babies that are laying down there. The one's sort of on a hill, so it's looking much bigger than it really is. And then over to the right, there are Hartman's mountain zebras. You can tell what zebra species it is by their stripe pattern. Hartman's mountain zebras have very narrow stripes through most of their body, with the exception of the rear quarters, where they have very broad stripes. Typical herd size for them is only one stallion and between 3 to 5 mare. Over left is a troop of mandrills. They're the largest of the monkey species. Males have bright blue and red markings like Rafiki, and the brightest one would be the dominant male. A little bit of activity going on in the back corner. And that is the dominant male there by the rocks. Looks like he might be digging something there. Can't really tell for sure.
Like Rafiki.
He's brighter if he's excited about anything going on. Mandrills are one of the few species besides humans that will smile at each other socially, even baring their teeth just like we do. And it can be a friendly gesture, not necessarily a threat or challenge like it is with most species. Way in the back, over
see
to
the
right,
elephant
there's
way
an
back there?
African elephant back there. You
Way
can see
back
that tail
there?
swinging back and
See him?
forth. Not the best view of an African elephant, so we'll continue onward. There's another spot up ahead where elephants will often hang out, so we're going to see if any of them are around there. With African elephants, both males and females do have tusks. Herds are made up of females and juveniles, with males typically leading the herd and going out on their own by the time they're about 12 to 15 years old. The females will stay with the herd the whole life. There's usually elephants hanging out somewhere right around this area here. And one of the reasons why they come here all the time is all of this around us now. It's red clay, and it is a very important mineral supplement for elephants. Look at the
Oh,
walls, you'll see a lot of scrape marks there, and that's the elephants using their tusks to break off a piece of that clay and then they eat it. You can see an elephant off in the distance here.
Way out there's a big elephant. Way up there in the front.
Oh.
You trying to see him?
Oh yeah.
There's a few of them that are there. We're going to see if we can get a better view, but they might end up being behind those boulders when we get closer. We'll give this a try though. Another view of the backside of an elephant.
Flamingo, right?
These are greater flamingos right here. The greater flamingo is not only the largest of the flamingo species, but also the palest pink. They get their color from their diet. They eat a lot of brine shrimp and other crustaceans, which are very high in beta-carotene. When flamingos are first born, though, they're not pink at all. They're pale gray. It takes a couple of years of eating that brine shrimp before they get all their pink color. Alright, our final attempt to see those elephants. If we can see on the backside of these boulders here, they're right there. So you can see the flapping of the ears going on.
See them way back
And by
there?
doing that, that elephant can cool its body temperature down by about 15 degrees. Doesn't look like it's coming out from that up a little bit further on out now, but still a really bad view of that elephant there.
Oh, I see it. I saw it. Yeah.
They're not showing them. That's because where you go on this
That's been the sheet.
The lines are at the end. The lines are at the end.
A little while now, so
Look at the time.
not surprising that they
Yeah.
congregate on the far side of those boulders at this time of day. A little ways from now, they'll probably be back out in the open. Look over to the right amongst the bushes there. Those are white rhinos.
Oh, I see
And
him.
white rhinos are fairly social, so usually found in small groups. Unlike black rhinos. They do weigh upwards of about 5,000 pounds and can
there's
charge
three.
at about 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, there's three.
We do have a pretty good view of them. They can't see us clearly at all. Rhinos have very poor vision. They can only see clearly just a few feet in front of them. They've got excellent hearing though, and the cone shape of those ears helps them to really hone in on what direction the sound is coming from. Now we are in cheetah territory. There is a cheetah right there on the hillside. If you see movement right there between the trees, looking right at us here. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammal. They
Can you
can
see
reach
his head?
speeds of 60 miles
Right above
an
the
hour
grass,
in only
right
3
next to the tree.
seconds. They can only sustain that
Do you
for a
see his
couple hundred
face?
yards. Everyone
his
see the
face.
cheetah now? That little face sticking out from amongst those taller weeds there.
Oh,
Over
yeah.
to the right amongst the bushes, that is a water buck. A water buck drink an unusually high amount of water for an antelope species. Because of that, they're only found living around sources of water. And they do have a rather shaggy, greasy type of coat to them, which gives them extra waterproofing for their
This is where the
environment.
lions are up here. I don't know if you'll see them.
Yeah, maybe not. He's normally always on the ground.
Over to the right, you can once again see the white rhinos around the backside of the bushes that we saw them at before.
Look, there's a rhino right there. You see him?
And then an ostrich right here.
Look
Even
this
though
way. They want you to look
birds
this way
are
right now.
far
Look,
too
ostrich.
capable of flight, but they can run about 40 miles an hour.
They're not showing them right
See a
now.
few
Look.
more ostriches way off in the distance there.
He's not out, Avery.
We'll see him again around the next turn.
This is where the
Yeah, they're not out. There's maybe a problem. I don't see them. Not out. Yeah, the peacock probably. I heard.
It's too hot for sleeping.
So that's gonna be. I heard him earlier though. Like this morning.
So little family of warthogs over to the left here. Now the easiest one to spot is if you look through these bushes, you see like a gate back there. It actually is sitting up now.
Yeah.
Up and standing up now. It might be coming out this way. I think it's going to. Warthogs are the largest of the burrowing animals. Whenever they're in their burrows, they're always going to be facing that opening. That way they can see what's going on outside. It also puts their test right there at that opening, just in case they get any unwanted visitors. This antelope right here is a scimitar horned oryx. Generally a desert dwelling species of antelope. They are critically endangered, but they actually went one step further than that even. They were declared extinct in the wild. And not too long ago, individuals from various facilities were taken and put together as a small herd, maybe 25-ish in number, somewhere right around there. And that herd was re-released back out into the wild, and their numbers are now starting to increase. So things are starting to look up for that scimitar horned oryx, but they've got a long road ahead of them to
ostrich eggs?
recovery. Once again, the ostrich is there. Ostrich eggs underneath the tree. Each egg weighs about 3 pounds, equal to about 2 dozen chicken eggs. There's also an antelope that's over to the right there. That's the Bontebok. It's one of the few antelope species that's not capable of real high jumping.
I thought they would.
Okay. Say goodbye, Uncle Brian.
Bye, Uncle Billy.
Bye.